You lose.
Welcome to the Nintendo Power Zone, and this is an NPZ Power Play, guys. I'm your host, as always, Nice One, and as promised last week, we are going to play Super Mario RPG on the Super NES Classic Edition. Yes, I wanted to bring out the SNES Classic Edition just because I got the idea when we were playing Final Fantasy VII last weekend. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys as much information as I possibly can about the game and its development, as much as I can actually remember, that is. But yeah, everything looks good. Hit me up in the chat if it sounds like crap. Please let me know. I hope I got my audio issues worked out. We had a few yesterday when we were streaming Final Fantasy X, and I definitely don't want to relive any of those today. So yeah, just comment in the chat. Let me know if my audio sucks, and if it doesn't, thank you so much. Anyway, guys, before we go ahead and get started, please remember to subscribe to the Nintendo Power Zone on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Zone. We have the podcast, we have the restreams of the games we play here on Twitch, and yeah, there's a whole lot more content, but I'm gonna stop dilly-dallying. Let's just play the game, right? Oh, so I love this game. This game is a classic, and this game is so old that Square Enix was just called Square back in the day. So it's really weird to be holding a Super NES controller again. It's so small, and I'm such an old gamer that it feels right to play it, but it also feels a little weird because of the form factor of the controller. I love this opening cutscene. So initially, this game was going to be a 2D top-down sprite-based game, like pretty much every Square Enix title or Square Soft title at that point in time, and they had visuals very similar to what we see in Super Mario World. They used the same character model for that, but after Square saw how awesome Donkey Kong Country looked, they basically restarted development on the game so that they could make it look as good, and from there the game switched from a top-down to an isometric style game. And of course we got the great that they use the SGI computer to do the visuals that we see here that all look really good. Square would also take this art style and apply it to later games like Final Fantasy VII. You see a lot of similarities between this game and Final Fantasy VII. But as far as gameplay is concerned, this is one of my favorite RPGs based on its gameplay alone. They do such a good job with the action commands. It's way better than the ATB battle system that they use in Final Fantasy VII. Just letting this opening stinger go for a little bit longer, just because I love it. Alright, no more of that. Let's go ahead and start the game. We'll go ahead and start a new game. Nice is good enough for right now. Now there are a few features on the Super NES Classic Edition that I don't remember how to utilize, like the fast forwarding and the rewinding. It's weird. Oh, for those who are wondering, I am using this CRT filter so that this game can look as old school as possible. Man, I love the graphics in this game. They're so cheesy by today's standards, but they really do look amazing. Like, for back in the day, I mean, this is one of the last games to get released on the Super NES before the eventual release of the N64. love that. Mario punches, like, that's such an odd thing for Mario to do. At this point in time, it was odd. I know later he would get this ability to punch and kick in Super Mario 64. But back in the day, this was all, like, fairly new. But Mario's got a straight up nice jab. I know I don't have to fight all these things, it's just so satisfying to punch them. You know, there are a couple cool little cameos in this game. Like, Donkey Kong has a really great cameo, and he looks exactly like his counterpart from Donkey Kong Country. But he's all tied up in chains and shit, so it's like, what did they do to him? Ah, you missed, sucker. What is interesting to note about this specific game is that this is the last time Square and Nintendo would work with one another until the GameCube. Now, we all know that Final Fantasy VII initially began its development on the N64, and there's that great video of Final Fantasy SGI, which was like a tech demo that they did to prove that they could actually make something on the N64. But ultimately, Square would opt out of working on the N64 simply because of the format. They didn't want to work on cartridges anymore because they wanted to make bigger, more cinematic style games, and obviously the only way to do that was to use discs, and Final Fantasy VII is a 3-disc game. So what ended up happening was Square was like, if you don't switch formats, we're not going to work with you anymore. And Nintendo was like, if you make a game for Sony's PlayStation, never come back. These were words directly from Hiroshi Yamauchi, the president of Nintendo during that era. So he's the president that a lot of people would associate with during like the 80s and the beginning of the 90s, at least for Nintendo of Japan. Obviously, his son-in-law would be Minoru Arakawa, who was the first president of Nintendo of America. Let's see. I love this fight. Like, you're fighting on chandeliers held up by chain chomps. Like, the audacity of this fight. But yeah, once Yamauchi told them to never come back, it would be years before before Square and Nintendo would be able to fix their relationship with one another. The first game Square would make for a Nintendo system wouldn't come until the GameCube, and that was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is like, here's a Final Fantasy game, but it's not a numbered game, so take it as you will. This is what you're gonna get from us. Ooh. Wait, I'm messing up here. I am not reading the, what I'm supposed to be reading, and I'm playing stupidly because of it. I might actually lose. Because forgot I'm supposed to attack the chain. Oh lord. Yeah, hasn't actually been that long since I played this game. I think the last time I played it was back in 2015. Yeah, so it hasn't been that long, so I shouldn't be this rusty. This isn't like a Final Fantasy X debacle that we had yesterday where, like, I couldn't remember where the game started. This phone is always ringing. Oop. Oh, nice. Yo, I love what this game does to it. Like, it subverts your expectations by making Bowser a playable character later in the game. Such a good story element for me. And Bowser's so good in this game. Like, you can talk all you want about Geno and all the love that Geno has, but Bowser is very highly underrated in this game. I love he just threw a hammer at the stupid chain chomp. It took Mario like 14 punches to beat the chain chomp. Bowser beats it with one mallet. I kind of want to talk about why this game even exists. Because at the time of this game's development, like, Square was the king of the RPG world, at least in Japan. For some reason, they weren't seeing the same level of success in America. That may have something to do with the amount of releases that we got here in the States. Only one Final Fantasy game came out on the original NES here stateside. It was the first Final Fantasy. Then we wouldn't see a Final Fantasy game until Final Fantasy 2 on the SNES, which I believe is Final Fantasy 3 or 4. And then we skipped 5 and we got 6, which we titled 3, which was terrible. So I believe that not releasing more games in the series here in the States ultimately didn't help the franchise succeed here. But the American audiences weren't really used to RPGs in the first place, so it's not like we had a whole lot to compare the game to. So Square was really unhappy with their sales figures in the United States, their Smithy. So they decided that they needed to make a game that appealed more broadly. And they tried a handful of games, and they just ultimately didn't pan out. But what they would actually do was reach out to Nintendo and say, we would like to make an RPG. Now, at that time, Miyamoto was really branching Mario out into different genres. We had seen him with the Super NES. We saw that Mario Kart was like the first real breakout side game for Mario. So Square was like, hey, do you think we could do this? And Miyamoto was like, yeah, I'm actually really interested, but this has to be two things. It has to be a good game, and it can't fundamentally break who Mario is as a character. And with that, Square Enix and, Shigeru Miyamoto, they decided to work on this game side by side. Now, initially, there's some weird stories that Square initially wanted to give Mario a sword and ride on a horse, and Miyamoto was like, that can't work. Oh, no, we're going to have to shoot that down. And Mario would use a hammer. He wouldn't ride, he wouldn't use a sword. Or Mario wouldn't ride a horse, he'd ride Yoshi. So, ultimately, things would come to pass, like, where the video game historian did a really great video about this game, and it came down to like a fan summit of some sort, where they voted on how the game, what weapon Mario would use, the hammer, which he had used in games like Donkey Kong, or a sword, and apparently fans overwhelmingly chose the sword, which, hell, good on the fans for truly understanding the character when a video game developer didn't. Like, you have to appreciate that fact. Oh man, this game. I have so many great memories. When I was a kid, I didn't get an N64 right away. It took me about a year before I got one. So I actually sank a lot of extra hours into my Super Nintendo. And this is one of the few games that I could play repeatedly. It's so good. Although it's deceptively hard as well. Like, the difficulty really does ramp up. That's right, guys. Coke, as always. They are not the official sponsor of the Nintendo Power Zone, but they are the official soft drink for nice one. It's not Bowser, doucheface. Before you start, it's best to save. You know what? He may be right. We did have a very bad issue. Yes, we're gonna erase over the last save because I only did that save file to verify that things would work. But yes, recently playing Final Fantasy 7 and 10, I've come to realize that Square likes to utilize the they like to utilize save points very sparingly. Hey, welcome Mario After Party. No, we are currently playing on the Super NES Classic Edition. Check the controller. Which is nice, you know, hooking up the Elgato to the Super NES Classic Edition was actually fairly easy. I'm keep doing the damn same thing. Let's go this way. Yes, that's the right way. Yes, we're going to Bowser's Keep. Man, that's just beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, I just hit the select button on my controller trying to capture footage. And it doesn't work, so I'm embarrassed by myself. Speaking of capture, I was playing Final Fantasy VII last night. Guys, they disabled the capture function during the Aeris death scene, and that pisses me off because I wanted screenshots of that, and you can't get them. So you know what I did? I grabbed my iPad, recorded that stuff, and I posted it to Twitter asking Square why. Excuse me. Man, I love this game. This game is so good. The audacity of a giant sword being the main threat of this game. It's so cheesy, but at the same time it's so square. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm really not gonna miss the active time battle in Final Fantasy VII in this game. There's something more fun about the action commands that this game has. Alright, I guess I gotta go back to Mario's pad. I will say this though, I am really missing the 3x speed right now that Final Fantasy VII has. And this game feels super slow. I love the pantomime. For some reason Mario can't speak, so they just do the pantomime. If they remade this game today, Charles Martinet would be great. That's another thing. With Square's and Nintendo's relationship finally being repaired after all these years, why don't they remake this game? Or a sequel. Like a true sequel to this game. Look, it's Cappy and he's dead. Yes, they are complicated. I couldn't agree with you more. Toad's a little douche. But I will say, ever since they've included Cloud in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, I think that's the moment where Nintendo and Square truly repaired the issues that they had with each other. It was from that moment on that I truly believe that they were like, we can work together, because after the fact, look at how many Final Fantasy games we're getting on the Nintendo Switch. Basically all the good ones. Yes. That's the best part about these games, is that they're hilarious. Push X to open. You know, I really hope this game gets a Switch release at some point. I think it's really deserving of being on the Switch. Alright, so there we go, we recovered our HP. Alright, so we know how to use items now. But yeah, I mean, like, because how many people haven't played this game? I know it's been out on the Wii and on the Wii U. Like, it's been available on a few different platforms, but still. Like, the Switch is really successful. It's really hot right now. Why did I do that? It would make a whole lot of sense for Nintendo to just release some Super NES games, even if you have to release them like in the eShop. That would be okay. I don't think anybody's really gonna complain about buying it off the eShop if you're not gonna do a virtual console. I mean, and it's not like you can add online functionality to this game. Yeah, they did release The World Ends With You, which I still haven't bought for the Nintendo Switch. I really should. I know there's been a lot of like controversy. People say it's not the best iteration of that game, but man, I mean, it's a good game. And if you can get past the little things that weren't added to the game that people thought should have been added, then it doesn't really matter. The game stands on its own. Try Special Strike. That's right. Now this is where the real skills come into play, is being successful with these command touches. I don't know why I can't remember what they're called right now. It is what it is. I'm super like focused on just getting some gameplay done. Alright. The axes feel a little weird in this. You get used to analog sticks. Come here, you little bastard. I wanna fight. Got it. I just love Mario's jab, dude. His jab is straight beast. Oh, nice. Okay, so I didn't time the second punch so great. The punches are harder to time than the jumps. Yeah, but he has the kick. Well, I mean, he's got like the spin jab in Mario Galaxy. I think it's a punch. His hands get on some of these enemies. Remember how to fight these guys. I think you just have to jump on them. Oh no! I don't have any specials. I wasted them all. Alright, fine. We'll do this the hard way. Your head on your show, you little turd. You just proved that you can. Treasure chest. Give me more. Oh, another cool, interesting design concept that this game put in. Is that you don't have to engage enemies. Now granted, if you choose to avoid combat a whole lot in this game, you're gonna be really weak. And the final boss in this game is, he's a douche and he's really hard. But the secret boss, which is like a boss straight out of Final Fantasy, he's immensely hard, and you're gonna want to. Oh, what have I done? Oh my god. Oh, that was terrible. Oh. Alright, so we've done it twice now. We have died playing an RPG here on the NPZ. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Isn't there a rewind feature on the SNES Classic Edition? We might have to do a rewind. Who remembers how to do the rewind? That was really bad. Alright, screw it. Let's see if I can remember how to do the rewind. No, it doesn't rewind. Alright, screw it. So, can't rewind it. That's what happens when you try to cheat the game. Okay, so we gotta do it all again. Oh, I suck. But I've made you guys aware on all the other live streams that I suck at video games and I never save enough. Especially in RPGs. Alright. So we're gonna skip all the tutorials, obviously. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I have to go back in the house. Tripping. Man, a 3x speed would go great in this game. Square, since you've got like your love fest with Nintendo going on, how about like a re-release of this game with some of the same features that you added to Final Fantasy 7 and 8? And, I'm sorry, Final Fantasy 7 and 9. Because you didn't release 8. Again, Square, why did you not release 8? Oh, I'm so terrible. I hate myself. You know what's funny is I died when I was specifically talking about, hey, you can actually avoid combat. Oh god, I did the tutorial again. Dude, Mario 3-on-3 Hoops is such a weird game. But I did like how you had to like hit the touchscreen and do like an M using like dots. Like that was always like weird, but it was awesome. So I'm gonna have to heal myself if I engage in these battles. Yes. Alright, no more. Get out of the way, Toad. God damn it. Okay. So I always have a habit of like just mashing an A button. He's like, right when you cock back the jab. I know, right? I should hit the B button. Typically, nothing happens. Alright. I like how Toad just has the ability to freeze time during tutorials. He's like a magic Toad. In which case, if you can freeze time, why are you not going out to save the princess? Why am I doing it? I need explanations. Alright. Enough talking. Let me go. Oh, lordy. Toad. So... Alright, yes. Give me your mushrooms. Now, is that cannibalism? Toad giving you mushrooms for Mario to eat and then heal himself in this game? I need somebody to give me an explanation to that. Oh, with the perfect timing. Now we know to save our jumps for the turtles though. Oops. Didn't time that one at all. There we go. We'll go with that. So, I want to go back to Square for a minute. When they decided that they no longer wanted to work with Mario, I'm sorry, with Nintendo, obviously they lost the rights to make another Super Mario RPG game. Which totally bums me out, but it had a longer lasting effect on Square than most people would actually believe. When Square wanted to... It's weird. I'll level up. Not HP. We'll raise the HP because obviously we got our butts kicked just a second ago. Yeah, so the whole reason Square wanted to work with Nintendo on Super Mario RPG, the reason they wanted to make it was because they wanted to make a definitive RPG that would sell in the West. Their own RPGs weren't selling, so when they decided to work with Nintendo, they found an instant classic with this game. They made a game that is praised and beloved. But what ended up happening was, since they lost the rights to make games with, since they decided to actively stop working with Nintendo, they had to stand on their own merit. Now, ultimately, I think Square did a good job of doing that. They did find a way to make themselves stand out. Final Fantasy VII was one of the best games. It is the best game I've ever played. It's my favorite game of all time. But they sold that game via their marketing campaign. They aggressively marketed that game harder than they marketed any other game before that. They were like, this is a visual celebration. Like, this game is the best looking game you're ever gonna play in your whole life. And if you read like video game magazines during that era, you would have believed that, because the magazines, they had these big display, big full page ads. And there was that one ad that always stuck with me because it's such a stupid tagline, but like it made you buy into it. It said, "So real you can hear their eyes blink." Like, how crazy of an advertisement is that? But still, like, they marketed the hell out of that game and it worked in their favor because they didn't have characters like Mario to work with anymore. The reason I say that this would affect Square later on down the line was because Square wanted to make a game on the upcoming PS2, and they wanted a game that would appeal to the masses, but Square doesn't have any characters that are really widely appealing to everybody, like from youths to adults. They don't have any characters like that in their repertoire. And they were like, the only character who can really stand out like that is Mario, or Disney characters like Mickey Mouse. So we all know the famous story of the elevator pitch where Square pitched a Disney executive with the idea of a crossover game. And Tetsuya Nomura happened to be in the room. Obviously, Tetsuya Nomura is the character designer for Final Fantasy VII. And the rest is kind of history. We have Kingdom Hearts, which for better or worse at this point is one of the best-selling RPGs, period. Like, but if Square and Nintendo's relationship hadn't become so damaged, would Kingdom Hearts have been a crossover between Mario and Final Fantasy? Could that have been the actual possibility? Was that the potential that game had? Because I feel like in an alternate universe, Square and Nintendo's relationship wasn't damaged, and the Kingdom Hearts series is a crossover between Final Fantasy VII and the Super Mario Brothers or The Legend of Zelda. Could you imagine the possibilities of a Zelda, you know, like Link and Cloud in the same game together? Like, ugh, we live in an alternate universe. That's a real thing. That's a thing that happened. Square and Nintendo never had their relationship tested the way that they did, and they released that little touche. And they released Kingdom Hearts, and it featured Nintendo characters. I feel like that's the world that we missed out on. And granted, like, I love games like Crystal Chronicles, but as, you know, a primarily Nintendo fan, I always wanted Final Fantasy games like to show up on the Nintendo console. We didn't get one for so long. It was painful. Damn it. That was bad timing. Oh man, I love these like action commands though. Like just jumping on a spitting flower, timing your button presses. Give him back. Out of specials already. I want to live in the world where Kingdom Hearts is a Nintendo crossover game. But that's the thing too, is like you look at this game, Square and Nintendo's like first like attempt at working together like side by side, hand in hand. And instead of like doing something a little bit more Final Fantasy-esque, you know, they ended up with like a really traditional straight up Mario game. And with Kingdom Hearts, they were way more risky with the franchise. You know, not playing as a Final Fantasy character or a Disney character by creating a brand new, you know, protagonist in Sora. I feel like people love Geno too much. I like the character of Geno, he's great, but I'm a Mallow fan. You gotta love it. It's a frog that thinks it's a cloud. I feel like I should save. Damn you, Lackey 2. Hey, wait, I have a question. Is this the first time that the Spinies had like a visible face? Does anybody know if that's a thing? Yo, Mario's uppercut is so fierce. Ultimately, I think that Square didn't go hard enough with this game. As much as I appreciate this game, I don't feel like Square truly gave this game like the love that it really should have got. And it's a fantastic game, but they should have gone crazier. Oh, I know, right? Lord Sakurai says something and we all love it. Although Sakurai is our Lord and Master. I may be a little underpowered for this fight. What's my HP at? He certainly does. That's what happens when you be timing these button presses, man. Whoops. Alright, man, take it easy. Thanks for joining the stream. Oh, that is not good. Yeah, had to use a mushroom. Hit that shit for real. Yo, got him. And he makes it rain. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, but I love this game. I really do love this game. And it feels so good to be playing it, and I love streaming it, and I love passing on all the weird little bits of information that I have. I may not have like a crap ton of like information about the game, but you know, I do intend on doing a fair amount of like research because I want to do a video that discusses the broken relationship between Nintendo and Square and what it really took to repair the damage that had been done when these two companies went their separate ways. Now, obviously, Square found its most success working on the PlayStation. That's really where they took off, and games like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 really do like stand the test of time, and they alter the way we view Square. With those 4 games, Square came into its own. Hold on a second. I forgot there's a run button. That makes a lot of difference. Don't jump on the spinies. I shouldn't have to explain that to anybody, right? Tell me that uppercut. Sorry, we're getting a bunch of notifications here. Hey, nice, I leveled up. Mario learns Fire Orb. This time we're gonna choose to increase our attack. And there go my dogs, guys. As always, my dogs make a return appearance on any form of media that I do because they are constantly interrupting my streams. What am I gonna do though? I love them. They're my dogs, I guess. This is the way it is. Alright. Anyway, let's... I don't remember if you can take out that lackey too. And man, having a run button is way better. Okay. Can't go that way. Alright, so I believe we get Bowser soon, so let's go off and do that. Bowser ends up being all salty that his castle's been broken into. Or taken over. I love the music in this game. For those who don't know, the music is done by Yoko Shimomura, who actually composes the music in games like Kingdom Hearts. She also composed the music for Street Fighter 2. So she is extraordinarily talented in the world of composition. I would love to hear an orchestrated version of the music in this game. I bet it would sound fantastic. Hey, little jumping bean. I think if I practice jumping enough, I'll jump as high as you. Nope, because you're a toad. But, yeah, we'll lie to you. Look, I'm jumping with you. Can I jump on it? I don't know why I've never tried this, but that's actually hilarious. That kid needs Ritalin. Kid straight up needs Ritalin. No, something else has her. She's been kidnapped by a giant sword. You got pickpocketed. Raz. Good for you. Get out of the way, mushrooms. What the hell? Mario's a pimp, dude. He's getting, like, macked on by everybody. I keep trying to do screen grabs and it's not possible. Ah, save point. Beautiful. Considering we've already died once on this playthrough, which is the ultimate embarrassment on my behalf. Not gonna lie, guys. It's embarrassing to die. I don't remember how to check my coins. Okay, I have 44. Nope. Oh my god, moving is so much better when you hit the Y button. What the hell, you gonna play that joke on me twice? The Chancellor waits. Man, this game is really, really stunning. Even today, even me playing with the CRT filter on instead of like pixel perfect, the game looks amazing. Like if I had gone pixel perfect, you'd be missing the scan lines, and for some reason when I play this game, I want the scan lines, and I love that the Super NES Classic Edition has things like that. Nope, it was a giant sword. What? Mario's pantomiming. Spores alive. Oh my goodness. Well, they are shrooms. Oh my goodness. Sorry for this, guys. I gotta do one thing. Apologize for the delay. Oh my god. He's trying to kill me. Getting a lot of notifications right now. Sorry, guys. Forgot you could do this. Get out of the way now, fool. Alright, let me go. I remember there used to be some kind of dirty joke. Was it in this game or is it in Paper Mario? About Peach's bedroom. It must be Paper Mario where there's like something dirty in her drawer. I think we're all supposed to believe that it's a vibrator of some sort. But that must be in Paper Mario. Which, I really hope they release that game relatively soon because Paper Mario is the best successor to these specific games. Yay, Mallow! The cloud who thinks he's a frog. He just killed himself. That's right, he controls the weather. He just falls over. Yes, I am the Mario. Because you're not a frog, you're a cloud. Yeah, I have time for a little side quest. He went this way, right? I don't remember where the crocodile goes. That croc is so fast. Oh man. Look at Mario, he's all jacked up. Alright, we're going down Bandit's Way. It's so weird, this game doesn't really have a whole lot of like FMVs, but like the in-game cutscenes are really great. You know, they use a lot of pantomime from Mario, which is something we typically see in Sonic games more than we see them in Mario games. Oh yeah, Mallow has a weird punch to time by comparison. Yeah, that's another thing. The action commands do tend to have like different like attack rates depending on who you're attacking with. Ooh. Yeah, I want to use the fire orb. Nice. That was a little OP. Not gonna lie, right? Oh, I love that. Man, I want to screenshot things so bad, but I'm so used to hitting the screenshot on the Switch. I know I don't have to engage in all these battles, but in this game, battling is fun. So you don't always want to avoid them all. Plus, as we discussed earlier, there's the whole, like, grindy aspect of how, like, difficult this game can be in its end game. So I don't actually like to pass up a lot of the battles. And I mistimed that punch with Mario. It's all good though. Ah, nice save point. I don't remember if the enemies go away after you beat them. Oh, I mistimed that. There are auditory cues too when you do actually time something right. Like that little whistle. It's like the perfect indicator that you're actually performing these action commands on point. That's right, the enemies don't respawn. I wanted to fight the wolf. Nice. Man, I could play this game for hours. I mean, obviously we don't have that kind of time today. But we did want to do as much as we possibly could. Ah! I want to fight the wolves. I have to do it, guys. I got to. It's more fun this way. Okay. I am completely out of... Might have to ditch this battle. No. This is what happens when we don't ditch the battle. But we did go ahead and save at a fairly good point. This is my fault. The reason why we keep dying. Because we keep engaging in every single battle. And I don't need to. Gotta start getting these button presses right. And healing, something I need to do far more frequently. Nice. Damn, he hit him hard. Alright, block that one. Mostly. Nice. I'm gonna start with the HP. Nice. Perfect block. The perfect two-piece from Mario. That's a two-piece and a biscuit right there, right guys? Or if you watch MMA and you saw Jorge Masvidal fight Leon Edwards in the backstage, that was a three-piece and a soda, according to him. Just make it rain fireballs. Beautiful. Saving is so much easier in this version of the game, I feel like. Whoops. That time. There we go. Now we can fight the wolves. What? I don't remember what the hell actually specifically does. Y'all can eat the thunder though. Wow. Oh crap. If there's like a Phoenix down or anything in this game, which is utterly annoying, but Mario died. I'm gonna have to give him something. Oh, I forgot to equip the hammer to Mario. Timing the hammer is very weird, but if you do it right, you get that. And that's awesome. Can't believe I forgot to equip the hammer. That's something I need to do. Just in case. Oh man. We've died twice on this stream. There's a reason why I'm saving it. Dang it, Dennis. Alright. I do need to continue. Damn it. I tried to avoid him. Got him. Alright. We'll move on. It's this way. I don't know what else to say about this game that hasn't been said, man, because this game really... it's really good. So we've gone ahead, we've leveled up at least every one of Mario's attributes at this point. Take out their heaviest hitter first. This game is just way too much fun. I remember the first time I played it too, I was maybe 11 or 12. And I just remember this game sticking so hard, especially since like we knew the N64 was coming out like relatively soon at that point. I think it was literally a month later. But yeah, I grew up as a military kid, so it's not like we were poor or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, we didn't buy consoles like right away ever. We always waited like a year for like a price drop of some kind before we ever ended up getting a console. So yeah, it was about a year before we got an N64. I mean, obviously that ended up being a good thing just because when we got it, there was a little bit of a catalog. Yo, Mallow's about to go down. Wasn't paying attention to his health. Taking him out of the scenario. And we can get whatever in here. Oh, nice mushroom. It's really good since we just used one to kind of save Mallow's, but I was really hoping that would actually take him out. Nice. Oh. Alright, so we didn't time that right, but didn't need to really. Look at this crocodile, man. Getting kind of reduced. Oh man. I had to, I couldn't help it. It's a great way to level up. I almost wish Square had more functions like this in some of their games now. Like I don't actually think there's anything wrong with the Kingdom Hearts battle system. But the precision that is required in this game, there's something to be said about these skills that you get when you play a game like this. I guess to each RPG its own. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Xenoblade 2 and the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the DLC that they released for it last year. Man, those Xenoblade games, they play like any other game I've ever... They feel and look similar to Kingdom Hearts, but then when you play them, they're so unlike one another. Wow, Mario's on a roll here. Mallow did nothing. This crocodile. Stupid crocodile. Run! Oh, I missed. Yeah, he's getting the fire. Nice. Oh, looks like Mallow doesn't have anything really else. Gotta get Mallow healed up. Oh, thank God I timed that properly. Douche killed himself. so much damage. I am not successfully blocking this. Mario's going down. Almost lost that. That was bad. And I wasted all my shrooms. Oh, this is neat. Nice. Save point. That's definitely what we need. Ah! That's literally not fair. Okay, fine. Super annoying. I was actually trying to avoid... Okay, I'm actively trying to avoid the battles now. Now, I know all the battles right now, they seem like they're really short. They actually do increase in length in later games. Like, they get really hard, actually. Oh, nice, I leveled up. I believe we've done all of Mario's attributes already, so we'll go back to HP. Go ahead and save that again. Actually, we might wrap this up once we finish with Mallow's little side story. Oh my god, the town's been overrun. Yeah, Mallow has a weak physical attack. Nice, block that one. But I had poor timing on that one. Wow, even with perfect timing, that only did 2 damage. Mallow's physical attack needs work. They are all over this place. Alright. So we're gonna deal with this at a later event. At a later time. So we're gonna go back to this save point. Alright, Alright guys, yeah, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna wrap up the stream today, but before I let you go, I gotta hit you up with all of our social media links. You can hit me up on Twitter at nice1983, NYCEONE983. You can email me at nice1983@gmail.com. If you're a fan of the Nintendo Power Zone, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Nintendo Power Zone. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can download new episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, stream new episodes on Stitcher Radio and Spotify. But if you want to watch the live version of the show, you gotta catch us on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Zone. We have all the links for all of these things here on the Twitch page. So guys, yeah, if you like the streams, please go ahead and give us a subscribe here on Twitch. We would definitely love to have way more people. We'd love to build the community as much as possible. So yeah, please subscribe to the Twitch channel so we can keep doing videos like this because we love it. Again, we're always going to stream on days that we are not recording episodes of the podcast. So because the podcast is bi-weekly, we usually record on Wednesdays. So the Wednesdays that we're not doing the podcast, we'll be right here on Twitch with games that you guys want to see. So hit me up, let me know what you guys think is really interesting, and we'll make sure we bring that to you guys, okay? With that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me in the stream tonight. Thanks to everybody who participated in the chat. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing really bad at this, but it's still a whole lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to stay fresh. Deuces.